Hello great eyes and parents. So in this video we are going to do the story for the week. I'm going to read the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Now parents, remember when you are reading the story and you feel your child is losing focus, read the story beforehand and then you can tell the story or use different voices. So I'm going to read the story and I'm going to use different voices. We're doing the story of Little Red Riding Hood. So here you will see Little Red Riding Hood with the basket and a bunch of flowers. So let's see what happens to Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood lived in a cottage by a wood. One day her mother said, "Your grandma is ill. Please take this basket of cakes and fruit to her." So Little Red Riding Hood set off with the basket, wearing her red cape. "Don't talk to strangers, especially not wolves," her mother called. "Bye, Mom." Little Red Riding Hood walked through the wood. The trees were tall and made scary shadows. Suddenly, a wolf jumped out. "Hello," growled the wolf. "Where are you going?" "I'm taking some cakes and fruit to my grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood. Look at how frightened her face was. Oh my goodness. Let's see. "What a sweet child are you," said the wolf. "Why not pick your grandma some flowers too?" With that, the big bad wolf ran off, leaving Little Red Riding Hood happily picking flowers. Little did she know, the wolf had raced ahead to Grandma's house. When he arrived, the wolf knocked softly. "Let me in, Grandma," he called. "I've bought you some cakes and fruit." But Grandma wasn't silly. "That's not Little Red Riding Hood's voice," she said. Quickly she made her bed and hid in the wardrobe. Look, there she's hiding in the wardrobe. "Grandma!" The wolf burst into the cottage, but Grandma was nowhere to be seen. So he dressed himself in her nightgown and bedcap and got into bed. Look, here's Little Red Riding Hood coming. Nightgown and nightcap. No, Grandma's nowhere. I wonder where Grandma can be. "Grandma, it's me." Soon Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. "Come in, dear," snarled the wolf in his nicest voice. "Grandma, you look odd," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Come and sit beside me, dear," growled the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood sat on the bed. "What big ears you have, Grandma," she said. "All the better to hear you with, dear," replied the wolf. "What big eyes you have, Grandma." "All the better to see you with, dear." "And your teeth are just huge," exclaimed Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," said the wolf, and he pounced. Little Red Riding Hood screamed loudly and ran away. The wolf leaped after her, but suddenly there was a banging on the door. Little Red Riding Hood opened the door. There stood a woodcutter who had heard her screams. He raised his axe. With a howl of fear, the big bad wolf dashed past the woodcutter, out of the cottage and away into the forest. Then Little Red Riding Hood and the woodcutter heard a strange knocking come from the bedroom. They opened the wardrobe door, and out tumbled Grandma. Never again did Little Red Riding Hood talk to strangers. As for the wolf, he kept well away from little girls, especially those wearing red capes. The end. Now you will also see in the slides there are a few questions that you can ask. I'm not going to go through all of the questions now. You can ask the questions. Remember to encourage your children to answer in full sentences. And also with this story, with our theme being opposites, please focus on the opposite characters. For example, on Little Red Riding Hood being a girl and the big bad wolf being mean and Little Red Riding Hood being sweet and kind. So focus on the opposites and characters. There's also a few questions about that, but enjoy the